Fala pessoal, tudo bem? Meu nome é Márcio Diniz, sou um dos instrutores aqui da Devis e a gente vai começar agora o módulo de Blueprinting, como que a gente vai inserir interações na cena. Então eu vou mostrar aqui, essa aqui vai ser a cena como ela vai ficar ao final do módulo. Então a gente vai aprender a como inserir sons na cena, como inserir o nosso first person para poder navegar, certo? Os controles aqui para a gente poder navegar, né? E também o menu. A gente vai criar esse menu como está aqui. Ele é interativo, conforme você aperta o Tab, ele abre. E você clica nos botões, aparecem os botões. Para a gente trocar material, trocar cor de móveis, ligar música e várias coisinhas. Certo? Aí também a gente vai aprender a blueprint para a gente abrir a porta aqui, né? Conforme o personagem se aproxima. Tá vendo que o som diminui. Aqui também a gente vai aprender fazer a porta de correr. E também a porta de correr que aciona o vento da cortina aqui. Tá? Vou mostrar aqui algumas blueprints de troca de material. Então aqui a gente troca o material do piso, por exemplo. A gente vai colocar aqui 3 opções, mas você pode pôr, vocês vão aprender que dá para pôr quantas opções você quiser, certo? A cor do sofá lá no fundo, ó. E também acender e apagar as luzes, certo? E aqui, por exemplo, como fazer tocar o piano aqui, né? Tocar uma música e tal. Então, esse tipo de interação a gente vai aprender aqui nesse módulo. Tá certo? Então, beleza. Então, na próxima aula, a gente já inicia aqui a preparação das coisas desde o começo e a gente vai evoluindo aula por aula. Tá joia, pessoal? Te vejo nas próximas aulas. Tchau, tchau.
Hi guys, how are you? So let's get started to talk about Blueprint, okay? I created a file here using the first person template of Unreal so that we could analyze some things here after we can get back to the project of the house. Nice, so let's talk about Blueprint. What is that? What does it mean? Well, Blueprint is a programming language, a visual programming language, and Unreal Engine is based on programming language C++, and this C++ is based on command lines in texts. I'm gonna open for you here. I prepared a blueprint here, actually a file of C++, so that I can show you guys, all right, what it is. All right, so to create some programming in C++, you need an editor, a texture editor, okay? Actually, it is a specific editor, okay, that you can use. In this case, the Visual Studio that I opened here. All right, it's another software, you know, so this programming here. Okay, so C++ is a programming language, okay, with command lines. There is a logic here. We're not going to talk about it, but I just wanted to show you how it looks like, you know, the C++, all right, just showing. And it's not accessible, this language, you know, you have to know all this process to do any type of programming, you know. Everything that is made on Unreal is based on this language, you know. By thinking about it to make it more like accessible for end user of Unreal and artist to create the programming, it was created the blueprint, you know. That is, let me close it here because I don't need this anymore. That is the like converting everything that we saw of command lines, text, you know, to a visual language, you know, that is very similar with the language of creating materials, the editor of materials. I'm gonna open here the first person blueprint here so that we can take a look. So here we can see it's very similar with the editor of materials. It's the same logic. There are some nodes here. We can connect them, to create the command lines. So basically, Blueprint is this. It has transformed everything that was a command line in a visual language. That is way easier to build. For example, the blueprints. So basically, that's it. The blueprint. All right. So let's create a blueprint, a new one. Okay. Let me save here in the content because it is just a test here. All right, I'm gonna create a blueprint from the scratch, from scratch, from the zero, from the beginning. So to create the blueprint, right button here, select blueprint class. It's gonna open this window. Here we have the types of blueprints. We have a lot of things here, and like actor, character. So basically we're gonna use the actor, right? There are blueprints that have to be in the scene. They are actors of the scene. As static mesh is an actor, the blueprint is also an actor. So let's see. All right, so here we have a blueprint, right? Double click on it to see what it shows. All right, that's the interface of the blueprint. It's like a new file, let's say a new project, because there are all the details of Unreal, viewport, the programming language and everything. Nice. So let's talk about this window. So here we have the normal windows. We have these other options here. We have the compile button, and this compile, after you finish the programming, you come here and you have to click on compile. So it's gonna analyze what you did, and it's gonna show the results down here. So if there is some error, it's gonna appear here, okay, or some message or something like that it's okay, it's gonna appear here, okay? So we're gonna use this button a lot, okay? Every time you make a change, you have to compile. And the save, you can save the blueprint because it's gonna save in our content browser, it doesn't save in the scene. So if you save any change on blueprint, if you close the file and you don't save it, the changes are gonna be done, So yeah, we have other things here that we're not gonna talk about in this module, and here the play button as we are used to, okay? Nice. Here we have an important window, the components, Blueprint is made of the programming and for the components, that we can add or not, to this blueprint. So for example, if I have a blueprint of a door, I need to attach the mesh of the door inside the blueprint. So here we have this window of viewport, the same viewport that we have in the menu, So same commands, the same way that you navigate on Unreal, you can navigate here. So if you click here, you're gonna see that you have a lot of things, a lot of components here, static mesh, some like plane cube, some actors, and other things here, We're gonna talk about them, some of them, during our module, right? So here we have programming part, some events here we're gonna talk about some of them, and the variables, and we also are gonna talk about this, this side here. If I select anything here, it's gonna show the details, okay, as it is in Unreal, normally. Nice. Here we have some other things like this window this palette. Maybe it's not enabled for you, but you can go here, window in palette. All right. Here we have commands, and here we have all the library of commands and everything. Nice. What else? We have here our, for example, viewport, as in Unreal. This construction, that is a concept we're not gonna talk about in our module of Blueprint, but it's like a programming, before the play, because everything that you makes of programming, it goes from where you press play, so it's like a pre-programming before the play, but we're not gonna talk about it, okay, because we don't use that, on ArcGIS a lot. And the main one is the window of event graph. Here we have some knots, that were put here. The event begin play, the other one here, and this one here. I'm gonna delete these two because we're not gonna use them, and I'm gonna explain about these knots, okay? The knots, they are very similar to the materials. We can put the knots and then we can link them. The only difference is this one. We call it flux control. So it's an arrow, so things in Unreal of Blueprint, they happen from the left to the right, When you press play, it's gonna run, and then it's gonna make like a lot of links, So I'm gonna put, like, for example, this one. Let's see. There's a message on the screen. Okay, so this knot is very important. It is a event begin play, So when you press play, it's gonna activate this. All right, so what's gonna happen? Well, a very important concept here is the trigger. All the programming, all the flow that you're gonna create, it needs to have a trigger, like when it's gonna get started. You have to tell Unreal when it's gonna get started, okay? So this one is the main one, that is the more basic. So when we press play, it's gonna start. Very simple, all right? We're gonna have a lot of types of triggers on Unreal. We're gonna talk about some of them. For example, when the character leans on something, or when you click on something, these are the triggers, So it's here, there's a play, and there's the sequence of the flow. It goes to this knot, and it's gonna run here. If I have another knot, for example, this one, it's gonna go here and run here, okay? A new sequence. So always from the left to the right, okay, in Blueprint. Nice. Let me delete this here. So this is the concept of trigger flow. Okay, this trigger is very important. All right, so every time if you click with the right button here, you're gonna open this list with all types of knots that you can have. For example, actor, add component, a lot of things here. Let's suppose I'm gonna put an event here of actor. For example, destroy actor. So here we have a knot, all right, to destroy the actor in the scene. So there's the flow and another information here. All right. Here you can, for example, have the library, the list of knots, okay? A very important concept is this context sensitive. When you turn it off, it shows all the knots that are available on Unreal. It doesn't matter if that makes sense or not, for your flow. And when you turn it on like this, it's gonna show only the knots that make sense for you, for your flow. We're gonna get back to this concept, don't worry about it. Well, we can click and drag, Control C plus Control V. Those options also work here. I can click and drag here. we can duplicate, for example, on Unreal 4, it was Control plus W. Here on Unreal 5, it's Control plus D, all right? That can duplicate the knots, all right? Nice. The navigation here, it also works with the scrolling of your mouse. You can zoom in and zoom out, and with the right button, I can do this, click and drag like this. Nice. Here I can, to link the knots, I can do it like this. Here there are informations, each one has its information. They are kind of similar, but each knot has its thing, We're going to talk about it during the course. And also you can do it as it was done in materials, the creation of materials. All right, if I want to connect, for example, this link, I press Alt and click on it. So yeah, it deletes this link, To get a new knot, right button, and I can type this here, or if I want to discover something that is similar, for example, actor here, we have a lot of things here. Or you can click here, click and drag, and then you can choose the knots that you want. And here's the concept of the context sensitive, because the knot that it came from the flow, it's gonna show the other knots that make sense in this flow. If I turn it off, it's gonna show everything. It doesn't matter if it works or not. If it's a knot that is not compatible with that, it's not gonna connect. But when we click here, it's better. We use with this context sensitive turned on, because it makes sense to connect things that are going to be compatible. For example, look, I click and drag it. Look, the list here, the amount of knots here. This one is way bigger. Now I'm gonna put it here, and I'm gonna turn it off, the context sensitive. It shows everything. This list is huge, but not everything that is here is gonna be compatible. For example, I'm gonna select this. It doesn't connect, because it doesn't make sense, So, but if I have the context sensitive turned on, it's gonna show. Let's see this one. Look, you see it is? Yeah, it is compatible. So this knot is compatible. So this is the concept of context sensitive. So basically, that's what we had to talk about, in general, about Blueprint and how to navigate on this. And after during the course, we're gonna talk more, about details and everything. Nice. So let's see what else. The variable, the concept of variable. So when you have this link, these knots here, when I have this pin here, for example, it connects the variable of any type. So let's take, for example, if I go here, variables, here I have the variables, some variables. So it's an information. Let's see. Normally we have a reference of something. It is just a name that is connected from a pin to another pin. So it's a knot of the type variable. You can create variables, If you click here, plus, I can add a new variable, for example. And I'm gonna click and drag here. I'm gonna use the get here. The get takes the variable here and put in my programming. Then I can connect like this, in some place. You're gonna realize that some things have different colors. For example, here the type of knot, the type of connection, and here this red is a variable that it's not gonna connect in a pin that is blue. So you're gonna need to have a variable that has a pin that is red. Let me put an example here so that you can see. It's a knot of the red type, so I can connect the red into the red. Red and blue? No, I cannot. So we're gonna see during the course examples of variables, but basically variables are information that are isolated, you know, like name, number, you know, anything like that that is gonna, you know, go with the knots. And there starts here. Nice. Well, what else we can talk? Well, the concept of compile. We talked about the button, but I didn't show you. So, for example, here, if I click on this, it's gonna compile. Look, it's gonna do the analysis, and it's gonna show result. Look, compile of new blueprint successful. Then it gets green. Yeah, it's compiled, and I can save this. Perfect. So that's it. I wanted to talk about it, you know, in general, of the interface and how we can create a blueprint from scratch, you know, from the beginning. I'm gonna close it here. Okay, so the blueprints that we're gonna create or put in the scene, they are here in our content browser. Okay, we're gonna organize them in folders and everything. Okay, so now I wanted to talk about another type of blueprint that doesn't appear on our content browser, and it's important. That is the blueprint of the level. Every level has its blueprint. That is basically like, you know, the level is basically a huge blueprint. You know, it's like that. And basically, it works, for example, let me explain. For each level that you have, you can have different programmings, you know. How can I access this? I go here, I click here, and I open here, open level blueprint. So it's gonna open this blueprint here. What's the difference? We don't have the viewport window, you know, because the viewport of the level editor is the scene. So all the elements that are here, they are added into the scene. They are elements of the editor, okay? So here we have the variables, and we don't have the viewport here, but we can add functions or commands here as well, okay? What's the difference about adding commands in the level editor or creating a blueprint? Well, for Unreal, it's not different. There is no difference because, as we talked, this is more visual. Unreal is gonna put it there in the programming, and that's gonna work. However, to organize, it's better if we choose blueprints, because in the ArcViz we reuse a lot of things. For example, you make a blueprint of opening door in a project that you are developing. Tomorrow, are we gonna develop the same project? No, you can just migrate from one project to another project. If you do this programming in the level editor, you're gonna have to migrate out the level, the whole level, with everything that is inside. And after, you can add what you want, but it's a lot of work, you know, and sometimes you just want a blueprint, you know. So in this case, it's easier if you migrate only the blueprint that you need in your new project. So use the blueprint of the type actor. So that's it, guys. It was a basic class, you know, just to know about blueprint. And in the next class, we're gonna start, you know, really to talk about blueprints, you know, how to create blueprints, you know, how to put in the scene, you know, make changes, you know. So yeah, that's it. I see you in the next class. Well, guys, so let's get started. Let's create the blueprints of our scene, okay? Well, the blueprints, they are interactive elements. So we're gonna create here in the scene. So when we navigate through the scene, the walkthrough, when we package the final project and we create an executable file, it's gonna run the navigation mode. Okay, they're gonna work. The blueprints are gonna work because they don't work here in the edit mode. Okay. All right. So to simulate how it's gonna be this navigation when we create the package, there is the button of player. So if you play it, it's gonna run. It's gonna make a simulation of how it's gonna be the scene. With the executable file. So here you can see that we opens the scene. It's working, and I can even navigate this by using the WASD, W, S, A, and D. Okay. These are the keys that we are used to, like for example games. You see that these keyboards, they are very common, very Unreal uses by default. So okay, so here we can notice that if I use the key E, it goes up, and key, it goes down. All right, so it's not like a first person navigation. Okay, it's not simulating a character. Okay. Look at the floor. There is collision, so the navigation stops here. I cannot go further. But if I go here, the character doesn't fall. So what do we have to do? We need to put, for example, our character here to simulate a person. He's gonna have gravity, let's say. He's gonna stay on the floor, and he's gonna walk on the floor. So we're gonna put the first person. Okay. So let's do this. Unreal. It is an engine, so there are a lot of platforms that are ready to create the game. So there is the first person that is by default that we can put in the scene here, and it can work. So we're gonna avoid like programming all these things, because we already have this with Unreal Engine. So by default, we have the character, that we can use. So we're gonna use this by default, and we're gonna change some things just to make it more like more proper for ArcGIS, So let's do it. So we go here, content browser, and here add, and here click here, add feature, a content pack. Okay, these are features. So click here. We have this now, this little window. We have the types of characters, third person, if we're gonna see the person like this, top down, a virtual reality, and we're gonna use this first person. Okay, so add to project. It's gonna load. Perfect. It has opened here. Already put the first person in our scene. Here it creates in our folder, in our content, these folders like first person arms, and first person weapons. Okay, so let's close it here. All right, theoretically it is already working. Let's play it. So here, yeah, let's see. Yeah, it's flying. So it was put in the scene, but it's not, enabled to run. It's not using the first person that we added. So what do we have to do? Well, we have to tell Unreal to use this first person. Inside this first person, there are other things, that, for example, the game mode. Let's see. Let's open this. We're gonna see that we have some assets here. First person, this one, the game mode, settings of background and everything. Here, the project, because this first person, it was made for games, so there is like, you know, gums and stuff like that. So here we have a lot of things that you can see if you are interested. Okay, but we have to tell Unreal to use this first person in our game. And how can we do that? Well, let's go here in our game mode override. Okay, you see that it is in known. When it's known, it uses the default of the Unreal. Okay, that is the one that, you know, flies and do things like that. So basically we have to change this. All right, for example, choose this BP first person. Okay, it is selected, and here you can see that it is using this default, you know, so it is using the character that we want. Yeah, first person. Okay, let's see. All right, this one. Okay, nice. So let's play it again, and it has opened here. You see the hand here, it's appearing here, because by default, you know, of Unreal, it's like this. If I use the keyboard E and Q, it's not gonna, you know, fly anymore. He's is stuck on the floor because there is the collision of the floor. If I go here, I'm gonna fall like this. All right, nice. Another interesting thing is that, for example, he's here, he was born here, in that position, and now let's put it here and let's play it. You see, he's gonna respawn here. So he's gonna respawn here, where we stopped the navigation. Okay, so it's like a setting by default. Okay, for example, when I play it here, he's gonna initiate the game here. All right, nice. But to do this in our game, it's interesting if we define the position that he's gonna be. Okay, and then we can go through the scene and navigate this to the scene. So we can define where he's gonna born in the scene, you know. How can we do that? Well, we have to put a mark, all right, to define where he's gonna respawn. Okay, so how can we do that? We have to put a player start. Okay, to do that, we can go here, open the window, and let's put this, and we can type player start. Actually, this, I can put this in my scene, player start. Click and drag it. All right, you see this, there's a mark here. You see that there's a message like bad size, because you are kind of touching the floor. That's why you just have to do it, you know, go upper, and it's not gonna touch the floor, and yeah, that's it. So if I put in the top view, I can see, I can position, and I can rotate as well. Look at this, where he's gonna start, you know, he's gonna look. So I can put the position of the character, and I can say where he's gonna look at. Okay, I'm gonna put him more or less like this, and I'm gonna play it. Look, you see this? Nice. I'm gonna change the position, put it more like this, and let's play it. You see this? I'm gonna rotate so that we can show this. Look. Nice. So basically that's it. The position that you want. You know, you can define the position, the rotation. Nice. So to navigate, W, S, A, and D. There's collision here, so we cannot go through this. You see? Here as well. Okay, let's see. Yeah, the collisions are here, so I cannot go through the objects. But if you see the character, he's walking too fast. We can we can change some things to put it more like slow. All right, now we have the first person. We're gonna change three things. First, you see we have this hand. It's like he's holding a gun. We already have the gun. It comes together. In Unreal 4, it was on our hand, but in Unreal 5, we have to take it off this hand because it doesn't make sense. And we're gonna change the speed of the character because it's too fast. He's walking too fast. And the last detail, let's try to go through here. I cannot go. He's kind of going on the bench because it's too small to go through this. But we see that there is a space, so we're gonna configure the character to make him more like better to go through some places. He cannot go through this, but visually we see that we can go. So yeah, we're gonna make some changes to improve this. All right, first thing, let's delete this hand. Let's delete this. Okay, the mesh of the hand. All right, we go here, content. Let's open this here, BP first person character. Nice. And then we can, as we already saw in the first class, we saw this interface. So I'm gonna go to our viewport. All right, that is where there are the meshes and everything. We can select our hand here, the arms. Look, it's like he's holding some gun. Okay, we can select and delete this. If I press play, you see that it has disappeared, the hand. So it is solved. Nice. Second thing, the speed of the character. We have to change the speed. So how can we do that? We can go here, select this character movement. There are all the movements. So here for ArcViz, basically, we have all these options here and everything. But for us, we need the speed, just the speed. So we can go here, character movement, walking, and select this, max walk speed. All right. So we can change it here. So let's decrease this value. I think a nice value is 200, okay? But you can define, it's up to you, okay? It depends on your scene. If it's too big or too small, it can, you can change this value. Yeah, that's it. So let's test now. Look, it's more slow. Now you see that we can see more things here. It makes more sense. I think that makes more sense for ArcViz, to work like this. But it's up to you. Okay, perfect. Play start is solved. The speed of the character is solved as well. Another tip that I can give is, for example, let's suppose we are creating the blueprints. Every time we're gonna test a blueprint, we're gonna press play. Imagine I have a blueprint here, and every time I play it, he's gonna respawn here, and I have to go there. I have to walk there. And now it's more like slow. There's a tip, for example. Even if the play start is here, we can change it. For example, if I put my character here and I select this and I put current camera location, so the play start is not gonna respawn in the play start, and he's gonna go here. So I'm gonna leave it like this for now, okay? So that we're not gonna have to, come here all the time. Nice. So now we have this problem that we have to solve, that he's not gonna you know, he's not able to go through some places. So let's get back to our first person character, and let's analyze this. This element, a capsule, all right, collision, capsule of collision, and it's the body of the character. So let's see if the environment have some element that like, you know, that is kind of smaller than this capsule, so the character is not going to be able to go through the place. So let's make the character a little more like thin. Okay, to do that I need to change. First select the capsule, come here to shape. Here I have the height. Okay, and here let's see, I put 30 here. You see, it's like he's more thin. You see, so now the collisions, he's gonna go through some places. Okay, so actually 60 because this is a radius. Yeah, so yeah, cool. You can change it if you want, it's up to you. Okay, but I think 30 it's enough here. All right, let's play it. Another detail, as I have the player here on the window of the first person, oh, what's happening? Okay, so if I press play here, he's gonna consider my player start because I'm not in the other window. All right, because here there is no camera, so he's gonna use the player start. So if I change it here and I play it, he's gonna go where there's the camera. So let's see the places that we couldn't go through. Oh, look at this, now I can go through this. You see? Where else? Here. Nice. It's nice. But you can add this parameter. Okay, if you have in your scene some really small places, you can add. Okay, if you want that the character goes through, you can make this character thinner, and he's gonna go through these ways. Okay, I turned off the grasses here. Yeah, that's it. So now we already have our first person. Okay, we can we made him like more slow. Yeah, and we corrected also the character, like he's thinner now and he can go through some places. So okay, we prepared our walkthrough to do the tests of all the blueprints. Okay, so I'm gonna finish this class. See you. Well guys, nice. We added our first person. Now we can navigate in the scene. In this class, I'm gonna show how we can add an ambient sound. Okay, so that's gonna be more interesting. It can be like a natural sound, or it can be like sounds of like cities, you know. So it's up to you. All right, if that's the case, you can choose. All right, we have a resource of Unreal that is called Sound Kiwi. So you can add sounds, you know. There are a lot of ways to work with sounds inside Unreal. So for ArcViz, we work in a simple way because in the case of a game, you have a lot of sounds, you know, time, so you have to mix them up. You know, in our case, we're just gonna add the sounds. Okay. Nice. So let's import our file of the audio here for our content so that we're going to be able to use this. All right. I'm going to create here a folder. I'm going to call it Blueprint. And inside here, we're going to put everything that we're going to create. I'm going to create a subfolder, sound. So for the audio file, you can import like you did with the FBX or the textures. Okay, right button, import to game. and then you select the file. All right, it is here, the file. The files of sounds here for Unreal, they need to be WAV, okay, WAV. So your file that you need to use in your project, like MP3 or something like that, you can convert to WAV. All right, there are a lot of websites for free that you can make this conversion, you know. So you just have to upload and convert and get it back. So all right, here we can play it. We're gonna listen to the
É um som de
sound.
passarinho,
Look, the birds.
certo? Então,
Right? So we're gonna use this sound inside our scene. So what's the idea here? Let me put here this view. Okay, so we're gonna put it here when the character is here. We're gonna have the sound of the birds, okay? And when he gets here inside the house, the sound is gonna disappear. And then out here again, the sound, okay? So we're gonna have to work with an actor in the scene to be able to control this sound. And also there are the distance, because if we like just play on the scene, the sound is gonna run infinitely, you know. So okay, so to do that, we need an asset of the type sound QE. So we can find it here, right button, sound QE. This one. I'm gonna name it. I'm gonna put this name, ambient sound. Okay. All right. I'm going to add this to the scene. It comes like a speaker, you know. All right. So now we can choose the sound that we want. If you go here in details, here in this sound, you can choose which sound you want. If you click here, it's gonna show all the files. Okay, you can see it here in the content browser. It was important. All right, the sound of first person and the one that we just imported. Let's select this. Okay, nice. So let's play it to see what's gonna happen. Before pressing play, let me open our first person here, and I'm going to increase the speed, okay, because you know we need to be faster. All right, after we can get it back here and change it again if that's the case, you know. For now, let's make it faster, okay. Okay, I'm gonna press play.
Legal, já
Nice.
tem o som do
We
passarinho
have the
aqui.
sound of the bird. However, this sound is in the entire scene. Any place that I go, I'm gonna listen to this song, you know, the bird that is singing. Okay. All right. So to control this area here, that is gonna have the sound or not, we have to enable the resource of the, for example, this override attenuation. Enable this. We have some parameters here. We have a lot of types of attenuations. Let's see. So basically we're gonna work with these things here. For example, the volume. Basically we need to turn down the volume as we move away from this, from the scene, okay? We have this parameter here, okay? We can enable or disable this. That basically, when you are with headphones, you have the sensation like 3D, you know, the sound is on the right, you can listen to it, the sound is on the left, you're gonna have this sensation, you know. So it's like this. If you rotate like this, you're gonna have the sensation of the sound more to the right, you know. So yeah, that's it. I usually enable this, okay. If you disable this, you're not gonna have this sensation. Okay, so let's see. What else? We have this sphere here to see like a resource of light. So the sound is gonna be like 100% inside this sphere, you know, and as you go outside, it's gonna turn down the volume. Okay, oops. Let's see. Okay.
Aqui a gente tá com o
Look.
som 100%. Tá vendo? Ó, eu giro.
You see?
Se você tiver de fone de ouvido, né, você
If
vai
you're with
perceber isso. Mas se
headphones,
eu tô girando a cabeça aqui,
look,
o som tá
you
jogando
can
mais pro
notice
esquerdo
this.
que pro direito. Se eu me afasto aqui, ó.
Look,
Se você tá de fone de ouvido, você consegue perceber.
you can realize
Então
that
aqui eu tô com
the
som
sounds
alto e eu vou
on
caminhando.
each ear.
Tá vendo?
As I go here, you see the sound is turning down. And when I get it back, like here, it doesn't get back anymore. It is a detail that I'm gonna show you how to solve, okay? So, alright, the sound has disappeared. We can, through this radius here, these spheres, we can control where I want the sound and where I don't want the sound, okay? So, basically, we can put the spheres and we can delimit the parts, okay? To help, for example, I have a sphere here. Let me take it off the ceiling. And alright, let's see. So the sphere, it's kind of more complicated here, but Unreal gives you other types of shapes. For example, here we have capsule, box. We can use box, and we can create a box here, so that we can, you know, work with these parameters, and we can control the size. Let's take a look. And let's see, and put 100, 100, 100. Now it's a box now. Okay, with this box, it's easier to organize. Let me put like bigger, 500. All right. Let me put it more like this. And then I can rotate this, you know. Let's see. So I'm gonna work with this. Let's see. I'm gonna decrease a little bit this. Let's see, 900. And let's increase this a little bit.
No som.
Okay, listen.
Conforme eu vou entrando, ele vai abaixando.
I'm getting in, it's turning down the volume. And here I'm not listening anymore. Okay. Let me see. Well, actually, it's not like we're not listening to the song anymore because it has stopped. So it is a detail. I don't know exactly why, but there's a tip for you so that you can solve this, okay? Well, every time you get out of this place of the sound, you know, the area of the sound, when the sound disappears, Unreal understands that it has to turn off the sound. So we have to put the sound like running 100%. So Unreal understands that when you get close to the source, it plays. When you get out, it stops. So to solve this, you go here, asset here, the sound here, let's see, visualization mode. Look, here it's in restart. We're gonna play when silent. That's why it's gonna keep going even if it's silent. Alright? Because if we leave it restart, we have to say to Unreal to restart, and it's kind of complex. Alright? So you can put this option here, and it's gonna turn down when we want. I'm gonna save it here. Okay, let's see how it's gonna be.
Tá o som rolando. Eu vou
Look,
afastar
look at this. Alright, it turned off.
e ele volta.
Look at this.
Tá? Então
It
você
got
tá
back.
rodando em segundo plano, mas ele
So,
simplesmente abaixou o
look.
volume.
Again. Look, look.
O som.
We can listen
Então
to
a
it.
gente acha que pode controlar
So I
isso.
think
Tá?
we can
Então,
control
aqui
this.
dentro-
So inside here, it's not cool to have the sound. So let's decrease a little more. Okay, let's see. 900. Okay.
Tá rolando.
So the sound is running.
Aqui já abaixou.
Yeah, nice. Okay. I think we can hear the sound is like there's no sound. So let's see. Here it's gonna be really low. Look, look.
Ah, tá bem baixinho. Aqui tá
You
perto da
see?
janela. Acho que tá legal, né?
Yeah, that's cool. This
É uma
way it's
questão
cool.
de controle também.
Well,
Você pode controlar
You can
da maneira
control
que você achar melhor.
the way you think
Tá.
it's better.
Beleza.
Nice. So we have this sound here. Every time you play it, you're gonna have the birds singing. Okay. Nice. Here we have the volume. We can control here. You know, by default, 1. Okay.
E aí vai variar de acordo com o som, o arquivo de som.
It depends on. It's up to your files. You know, there are some files that are louder, but here you can control. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna leave it in 1. Okay. Here's the pitch. I can leave the sound more acute or bass. Okay. So here I have the sound, and now I need to put a sound here as well. Okay. It's really easy here. We just have to, we copy this and put it here, and then we can control our distance here. Let's see. The height doesn't really matter. Let's control this. Nice. So let's see.
E aqui voltou o som.
And here it got back the sound.
Baixou. A porta aqui tá sem
Okay.
conexão.
There's no collision here on this door. Alright. Nice. Okay, so that's it. You can control the sound. Inside here we could put a music, for example. I can have like 2 sounds. Actually, let's do it to see how it works. So we can do the same process here. Look, I have a sound here, a music. Let me import this. Alright, I'm gonna press play.
Tá? Legal.
Nice. And then we're gonna create. Actually, we can duplicate this. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna add this here in the living room. Alright. I'm gonna select the sound here. Let's see. And I'm gonna control here. I'm gonna use the same process. Override attenuation. I'm gonna put box as well. Alright. And I'm gonna control here. Alright, let's see. 400. Let me see. Let me change this number here. Okay, let's test this to see how it goes.
Onde eu tô? Legal. Então
Nice.
aqui vamos voltar ao som do passarinho.
Alright, let's see.
Tá alto. Vamos vir aqui.
Okay. let's see what happened. So here I put the sound. Let me see. Auto activate. Okay, that's important to check this. Where when you play, it's gonna run. So probably, I don't know what's happening with Unreal 5. I'll have to check it out if they correct this. But if you decrease the attenuation, it appears the sound, and that's it. Like, you know. So I'm gonna try to increase this to make a test.
Tá vendo? Agora ele tá funcionando. Bastou
It's working.
aumentar a
Yeah.
atenuação.
Okay. So I'm gonna increase here. All right. And I'm gonna increase this here. And let's play it. You see? Theoretically, we're in the limit of the attenuation, but it's not letting us, like,
Vai.
all right.
Tá vendo? Não faz sentido.
But actually, it doesn't make sense. On Unreal 4, we didn't have this problem, but well, in the final version of Unreal 5, it's happening, but it's okay. Yeah. Here's the sound of the bird. And as you're getting, you see. But here, let's get back here and let's correct. Play when silent. And I'm gonna decrease a little more here. Yeah, 200. And here as well. 563 maybe.
Tá aqui o passarinho rodando.
Alright,
cantando.
let's see.
Eu entro aqui. Aí, pronto.
Look, the
Tá
sound.
vendo? Ele faz essa mixagem dos
Ok.
dois sons. Né? Se eu sair aqui, some a música. Bem baixinho.
Okay.
E aqui já é o passarinho. Então,
It's not that cool. So let's try to put it here. I'm going to decrease it here. And let's see what we can do. Let's play it. The birds.
aí. Então agora a gente consegue atenuar melhor. Né? Conforme eu
As I get closer
aproximo da fonte,
of the source, it gets louder. Nice. It has lowered sound, and that's it. Nice. That's very cool, right? When we have sound here, everything gets really nice. You know, for example, if there is nothing, the experience isn't the same. So yeah, that's it. In this class, we showed how we can add sounds. How we can control. So yeah, that's it. So we finished this class here, and see you. Alright guys, so let's keep going. This class, we're gonna create our first blueprint, okay? We already put our first person in the scene, okay? We're gonna put an ambient sound, okay? Now, we're gonna start doing the blueprints of interactions. So first, a blueprint of door. It's gonna open for rotation, so we're gonna make a blueprint for this entrance door. It's gonna open automatically, okay? All right, so let's go. So first thing that we're going to do is to show the ways to create a blueprint here in our scene, okay? So I'm gonna show it how we can create a blueprint from scratch, from the beginning. So Okay, I'm gonna create here. We have our folder here. I'm gonna create a blueprint of the type actor that we already saw in the first class. And I'm gonna call it BP simple door. Okay, nice. By convention of nomenclatures inside Unreal, we put BP in the blueprint, okay, underline and a name, all right, so that you can call it, you can name it. All right, so double click on it. Nice. Okay, so let's get started. We talked about the interface a little bit, but we didn't really get the details. Now we're gonna see how to use this interface to create things, okay? Uh, all right, so first thing that we have to have in Blueprint, we have to bring the mesh of the door inside the Blueprint, okay? It's gonna be a component of the Blueprint. To do it, we need to add a component, as we said in the first class, scene static mesh. Okay, so you can add here. I'm gonna put it door. Perfect. So it's here. It was added. There is no mesh here. If you see the details, okay. So it is just a reference here of an object. So let's take our door, this door here that is selected, and now I'm gonna bring it here, right? Nice. It is already here inside our blueprint. It comes with the configuration of pivot. All right, the pivot is here, in the center. Okay, nice. So here we have our mesh of the door inside the blueprint as a component. Nice. So let's analyze this. What is the idea here? Well, when the character gets closer to this door, it's gonna rotate. So it's gonna rotate here 90 degrees or 80, okay, to open the door, right? Nice. So we need to show Unreal which area, um, here, the space that the character needs to lean to activate this. Remember we talked about the triggers, you know, so we have to show Unreal, which is this area, okay, where the character needs to lean to activate our event, you know, so that the door is gonna open. All right, so there's a feature, box collision. Look, this here, it's a box of collision, okay, so it's gonna generate a collision. Nice. Here inside our Unreal of our components, here is our blueprint, all right? And here we have some things here, all right? The objects, default scene root is basically an object of reference that can be used as a reference for us, okay? It is optional, okay? It doesn't really need to exist. I'm gonna show it to you here. Let's see our blueprint here. You see, when I put it here, it comes with the this icon here, you know, like a reference. If you press G, it appears. So look, the center, the 0.000. After that, we see the mesh of the door, and the box comes after here. Look, yeah, basically that's the hierarchy of 3D. If I move the door, the box moves together, but it's not what I want, okay? because it's gonna rotate together. So I need to take it off. So I can click on it and put attach. All right. So it's free for the door. It's not like as it was before. So pay attention on this hierarchies, okay? Because sometimes you get some conflicts here when you're creating blueprints. Let's adjust this collision block here. So it's gonna represent the area where when the character leans on this area, it's gonna activate the action. Okay, look at this. So here, when the character walks here, it's gonna pull the trigger there. Okay, let's see it here. The height doesn't really matter, okay, because if the character leans here, it's gonna pull the trigger. So we have the trigger here. I'm gonna show the area that the character is gonna lean and the mesh that it is gonna generate. In this case, it is with the materials when it has imported the FBX. Okay, look, let me take this again. We already saw in the other classes. If you double click on it, the material was applied after that it was put in the scene. So when you add inside the blueprint, it comes with the original material. So here you can change, or you can save it and you can change that. I'm not gonna change for now, okay, because we're gonna show this again to recreate this. Nice. So this part of components is already solved. Okay, now we need to create the programming, okay, the coding. To do that, we're gonna go to event graph. Nice. So here we have the knots that we already know. I'm gonna need them because our trigger is not gonna go when we click on play. Okay, this one as well, this one as well. Okay, which is the trigger? Well, when the character leans, when he touches, okay, when he does the overlap. Okay, let's analyze this. You can see here that you have pre-programmed events. That's why we chose it, you know. Here we have some events, okay. For example, this one, look, the overlap, and other ones here, okay, that we can, you know, we can try. It's for games, as we talked about. So what is interesting for us is this overlap. It's like when something touches the box, you know. I'm gonna add here. You see, when you click on it, it creates a knot for you, and it already put here that it was used because we can only have one event per box. Okay, we cannot generate two events for the same thing. Okay, all right, that's interesting because, for example, click here, you go directly here. If you have a blueprint really big, it goes directly to the point. Okay, that's why you have this button. Nice. So here's the knot of the event. It's like a trigger so that we can generate our coding, our programming. Okay, so first step is solved. We already have the trigger here. Okay, nice. So now we need to tell Unreal which object what object is gonna touch and is gonna generate the event. It is a specific object or any object? Well, in our case, we can use a specific object that is the first person. I suppose you have two doors that are attached. One door opens and touches the box collision, and it's gonna activate as well. So, you know, it's better if we specify the object that is gonna overlap the box. If you see here, we have a lot of things. Other actor, that's what we're gonna use. All right. I can click and drag like this, and I'm gonna connect to the first person. There is a specific knot that is this cast 2. It's gonna connect to the object, to the actor, okay? With the context sensitive, it's gonna show a lot of actors here. Okay, so the name of the first person is that one, okay? Let's see. In the folder we added here, PP, first person character, this one that I want, when it overlaps the box. So I'm gonna get back here, first person character. Okay, perfect, nice. So here, this one, this knot is gonna activate the trigger. Okay, the object, the actor, is gonna overlap the box, and here it's saying which actor is gonna overlap the box. Nice. Let's compile this and save it, and that's it. Let's go. Okay, now we have the trigger and the actor that is gonna activate the trigger. Now we need to tell what's gonna happen, okay? Unreal already knows when the event is gonna happen, and the object, it already knows. So now it's have to tell Unreal that it's gonna rotate the door 90 degrees, okay? So based on that, let's tell which object I wanna rotate. So I need to take a variable that represents this object. Okay, if I click and drag here, any component here, it's gonna create a variable. Okay, that is a variable of the type static mesh, right? If you see here, down here, when I add things, it creates variables here, as you can see. It has already separated by variables related to the components of Blueprint. Okay, perfect, nice. Now we already have the variable here. I want this door to do something. I want this to rotate. So I'm gonna click and drag here, and I'm gonna choose this knot here. Okay, set relative rotation. It's gonna add a rotation, a relative rotation. It's going to be relative to the blueprint, because there are two types of set rotation. The rotation, that the rotation is related to the world, okay, with the scale of the world. And there is the relative with the blueprint, because if you see this here, the location of this door is 0, 0, 0, the axis 0. But if you come here in the scene, it's not in the 0 of the word. You see these numbers here, right? So that's why, for example, here, the relative is relative to the coordinate inside the blueprint, and the world is relative to the world, okay? All right, let's keep going. So what do I want to do? I want to add a rotation to it, okay? I want this to rotate 90 degrees in the z axis, okay? Here we have x, y, and z, okay? The blue one, all right? That is the z axis. So we're gonna rotate this, okay? And if you take a look, there's a nomenclature that if I rotate this z-axis, you can see this yaw in the center and the angle, okay? So we are rotating the axis yaw, all right? If we rotate the x, we have the row, and in the y-axis, we have the pitch. It's just a nomenclature, okay? Instead of saying that it's gonna rotate in the z-axis, that's gonna say the other nomenclature, okay? All right, so here we have the x-axis, the y, and the z, okay? All right, 90 degrees in the z, correct? Nice. So it's gonna activate the trigger. It's gonna pull the trigger when the character overlaps the box, and it's gonna get 90 degrees the rotation of this door. Okay, easy, right? So let's test to see if that's gonna work. Let's play it. Our bird is singing here. Did you see? I'm gonna increase a little bit our box so that we can see it better. To do it, I can increase here, or I can increase here in the windows, the editor, because sometimes it's easier to see in the scene. How can I do it? I select the blueprint and I go here and I have these components. Okay, so it's exactly what is here. Okay, so if I select the box, I can also add it here the same way. Okay, I'm gonna leave this big like this. Nice. What's the difference between here and there? Well, when I do it here, I'm changing the original blueprint. Okay, that is in our content browser. So if I change it here and I save it, it's gonna save here in our original file. If I change here, it's gonna change only this blueprint. Let's suppose I just added, for example, another blueprint. You see, it comes with the size that is in the original one, and that one is different because it was changed for the navigation. Okay, if I want to change this one, I can do it for here. If I want to change all at the same time that in the scene, I can do it here. Okay, actually, I have to go here and change it here, so it's gonna change for everything, everyone. Unless you had already changed this, okay? So it's not gonna change. Let's do a test here to show you. Copy one more. And I'm gonna change it here a little more. All right, compile, save. Look at this. It has changed both, but it didn't change that one because it understands that that one is not gonna go with the original things, you know. Right? Okay. So let's get back here. Let's see. Let's get back to our test. All right, let's press play again. And let's get closer. You see this? It has opened. And all right. I just said to open when I get closer. When I move away, it doesn't close. Okay. Well, it has changed the angle from the angle 0 to the angle 90. Okay, because you said to Unreal to change it, you know, and it has changed. Okay. All right. Nice. Now I'm gonna turn it off. The volume I'm gonna put in 0. Okay, so it's not gonna bother our video every time, you know, the bird singing and everything. So I'm gonna put 0 here, and after we can get it back. Okay, when we finish the scene. All right. So we have to create an animation. Okay, because this rotation is an animation, so we have to rotate this during a time. Okay, during a timeline. It's like the sequence, you know, you're doing an animation there. We determined point 0 and the other point. Okay, and then we tell, okay, go from here to there. All right, so the angle is going to be 92 degrees, for example, and Unreal is going to do that those angles that are between them. So we're gonna do this animation side blueprint. How can we do that? Well, we're gonna add with a timeline here. Okay, let's see, like the sequence, you know. So timeline, add timeline. I'm gonna call it door open. Nice. So it's gonna it's gonna play this timeline, okay, when I activate. Okay, so let's double click on it. This is a specific knot, okay? You have some specific settings. That's why the color is different. So let's open here. We are inside the settings of the timeline. We need to add a track like it is in the sequence, okay? So I have a lot of types here. Add flow track, add vector track, you know. So these are types of track, you know. For example, float is decimal number variation. Vector, I have variation in the 3 axes, okay. Here you can create separated events and color that it's a configuration of color RGB. In our case, we're gonna choose this one, okay, this option. Nice. Okay, so I'm gonna put it here. So I'm gonna configure our timeline. I want this animation to last like 1 second, and I'm gonna add a key here, exactly like in the sequence. You press shift and you click on the timeline, and here you see the 0. Then I click here and I'm gonna create another 1 second and 90 here. You see, here I can control the zooming and zoom out, you know. All right, with the right button as well, exactly like in the navigation of Unreal. And here I have a linear curve. I have acceleration, you know. To be more interesting, let's add a curve here. Okay, so you can select the 2 knots, the 2 pins, and click here, auto. So it creates this acceleration, deceleration. Okay, nice. So here, let's get back here. And now we can see that there's a timeline here. Oops, a pin here, angle. That is exactly our angle here, right? So when I press play, it's gonna play here this curve, you know, it's gonna go from 0 to 1. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna take this number and I'm gonna put it in the z-axis instead of typing 90. Okay, so that it's gonna be giving this knot according to the curve, you know. So I have to connect this to the z. But if I try to do it, I cannot because of the colors. Here it's a green and here it's a blue. So because here's a variable of a unique value, okay, and here there are 3 numbers, okay, vector. So I need to put just in the z, right button, and press here. Okay, now I have that variable in 3. I'm not gonna rotate in x or y, you see. I'm gonna put it here, okay, only in the z. Nice. Compile and save it, and let's play it. Nice. Let's get closer to the box. Look, when I touch it, the box, it opened. You see, it wasn't like going straight from 0 to 90, you know. So I can change, for example, if I think it's too fast, I can change it. Look, the curve, it's different now, and I can change it here to 2. Okay. Okay, Yeah, nice. Now, yeah, it has opened. For now, don't worry about the opening angle, but it has opened, okay? Like this, and it doesn't close anymore. Even if I move away. But it's not like that. I want this, when I get through this, I want this to close, the door to close, okay? So now you have to tell Ryu to close the door when I move away. Okay? Alright, let's do it. I'm gonna save it here. Nice. Alright. Now um we have to say that when the character moves away, uh it has to close, okay? Or when the character goes through the box, after it has to close the door. Okay? So in our box there is an event that is the end overlap. Okay? Um nice. Let's see. The same object. Okay, I can cast two. Okay. We're still talking about the first person character. And then I'm gonna do the opposite. Okay. It was from 0 to 90. Now it's gonna be 90 from 90 to 0. I can copy this, and I can do the opposite, or I can use the reverse. This thing here. Okay. The play, it goes from left to the right. The reverse is gonna go from the right to the left. So it's gonna make this easier for us. All right. Nice. So let's test this. Okay. I'm gonna go through this. Oh, look at this. Nice. Okay. Look. All right. That's nice. Yeah. So that's it. Yeah. Our blueprint of door is done. Okay. Nice. Let's save it. So now we have to change the material and put it in the right position. Okay, if you want this here, like we could rotate like this because of the angle. All right, because of the axis, more or less here, and then it's gonna work. Look, nice. Look at this. So yeah, but now I'm gonna show another way, a second way, because this way that we created the blueprint from the beginning, and after we added the mesh. But in our case here, we already have the mesh of the door. It is already here, the mesh, okay? And it is already with the materials. Everything is done. And most of the times, that's gonna happen. Normally we put all the things here like lining, the materials and everything, and after we make the blueprint, so the door is already positioned here. So if I create this way that I already created, unless you already have uh, what you want in mind, you can put everything directly. But in this case, the mesh is already here, but it's a static mesh, normal, normal. There is no blueprint. Here the mesh is already positioned. So from the mesh that is already in the scene, we're going to convert this in blueprint. How can I do it? Well, I select the mesh and I go here in the blueprint button, convert selection to blueprint class. Okay, here I'm gonna use these harvest components. Okay, because if I use this one, it's gonna consider that this blueprint is a relative from this static mesh, and we're not gonna be able to put the box of collision there. Okay, so let's use the component there. Okay, and it creates the blueprint here. Okay, and it creates here already the blueprint. All right. Okay, so let's rename this. PP simple door 2. Nice. There is this symbol of static mesh, but it was because it was converted. But you see here, it's a blueprint class. Okay, nice. So okay, it has created. Look, so it has created the blueprint, and it already put the static mesh as a component of our blueprint. So now let's do exactly what we did the other time, okay? I'm gonna do it fast. All right. Let me see. I'm not gonna put it like depending on the order to rotate. I'm gonna position this here. All right. Compile and save it. And here in Event Graph, I'm gonna redo this. So basically I come here in box. I'm gonna put the begin overlap and this one. Okay. And now I'm gonna teach you a tip that is very useful on Unreal that we can copy from one blueprint to the other. So as I have everything ready, I don't need to redo. Control C and Control V. Connect this, right? The only thing that is gonna change is that I cannot have the same timeline. I mean, the timeline with the same name in different blueprints. So it has renamed this for us. All right, compiled. Look, there is some error here. Look at this, and it shows us the error here. Look, it's right here. I didn't connect the object, so I do it. Let's compile this again. Yeah, I just solved this, but here there is this error here. Because here we have another name. The variable door doesn't exist this here. So I'm gonna compile this with this name. Nice. Okay, it's green, so everything's fine. Okay, so let's play it. Okay, before that, we have to rotate the door. Okay, I'm gonna leave it closed. All right, and I'm gonna press play. Nice. Oh, that's great. Nice. Nice. So that's it, guys. What else we can change here? I'm gonna teach you another tip. Um, because we know how to create the blueprint from the scratch, adding the static mesh, or using static mesh from the scene to convert to blueprint. Both ways work. Okay. Well, if the mesh is in the scene, positioned and configured, you can convert directly. If it's not, it's better to do it here. To create the blueprint, and after I put in the scene. All right, I'm gonna delete this because I don't need this anymore. I'm gonna save it, and I'm gonna show you a different technique to make this blueprint. It is very interesting. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to change it here. Okay, nice. So let's suppose I created this blueprint. It is created with a name. I rename it this, and let's suppose I want this blueprint to be a library blueprint so that I can migrate to other projects and it's not going to be exclusive for the scene. And I want, for example, to create a blueprint that I can add here, make a configuration, and it's gonna work, okay? Without needing to open the blueprint, you know? So I want to make the configuration that I want and save it. Okay, we can, instead of working the timeline by typing the value here from 0 to 92, I'm gonna do a way that I have a variable that controls this angle. Okay, the timeline is the same. This variable that is gonna change. Okay, so how can I do it? Well, instead of using the value of 90, I'm gonna use the value of 1, right? So 2 seconds, it's gonna vary from 0 to 1. I'm gonna explain this. Okay, so here I have the value from 0 to 1. If I press play in the scene, it's gonna rotate 1 degree, right? But I want this to rotate 90 degrees or 80 or 70 or 50 or 120. It depends on the door, you know. So uh, through a variable, I want to change without having to get inside the timeline every time, you know. So let's do it. I'm going to create a variable. All right, this variable has to be, first I'm going to give a name here, open angle. All right. And we had put here the track, the float. All right, the float. So this parameter here is of the type float. So our variable has to be the type float. You see all the types of categories of variable, you know, we have a lot of them. In our case, it's float. And float, that's gonna make a variation, like a decimal variation. You know, it can be like 0, 1, 2, 3, you know, decimal numbers. Let's compile. And then I have my variable here, and it's gonna open the default value. I'm gonna put 90 here, so my variable has an angle of 90. All right, here this angle is varying from 0 to 1. I'm gonna multiply for this variable here. So I take this value 0 from 1 and I multiply for this variable here, because when it's 0, it's gonna be 0 times 90, and that's gonna be 0. And when it's 1, 90 times 1, it's gonna be 90. Okay. All right. So if I change here the variable to 70, when I multiply here, it's gonna be the same thing. I don't have to change my timeline. Okay. Let's put 70. I'm gonna take this variable. I'm gonna get this variable, and I'm gonna multiply. How can I multiply? Well, I type this multiply, right? So it's taking this value and it's gonna multiply to this one, all right? The result is gonna be here, right? If I want to invert this, I can do it. It's gonna take this value, and it's gonna go there, okay? Let's test, all right? Look, it has opened 70 degrees. If I type here, if I change this variable to 40, compile, and let's see. It opens only 40 degrees. All right, nice. So the timeline, I don't have to open the timeline every time, you know. So I just have to change this variable here. But another interesting tip by using this system is that I can do this changing without opening the blueprint. So I'm gonna leave this variable value here visible in my editor. When I select this blueprint, it's gonna open here. Okay, it's gonna appear here. For example, I can go here, click here, and it opens the eye, so it's visible. Okay, compile and save. Let's see. Let's see, I can close it here. For example, I can put this blueprint in my scene, and I can control the opening angle here. 80, for example. Let's see. Right? I can control without needing to open the blueprint, you know. Let's suppose you're adjusting this opening. All right, you're gonna do this. So here it's way easier. You just type this here, okay? And Look at this. It opens just a little. Nice, right? I'm gonna leave here 85, and then it's gonna open 85 and close it. Perfect. So that's it, guys. In this class, we learned our first blueprint, okay? Opening the doors, and here we learned two ways: creating a blueprint from scratch, from the beginning, and taking a sorry, and taking static mesh of the scene and converting into blueprint. Okay, we learned how to do it here as well. You know, some concepts interesting like box collision, overlap, you know, first person. uh, so concept of timeline, variables, multiply, you know, and this rotation here, and this interesting feature to make that visible. Okay, nice, guys. So I'm gonna finish this class, and I'm gonna leave an exercise for you to do this blueprint for this door here for the office. Okay, there is a door here, and there's another one here of the bedroom. Okay, it also opens like this. Okay, but I'm gonna leave for you guys to train that. All right, then you can do it of like both ways. Okay, by converting and also from the zero. Okay, so if you have some doubt, just leave a comment on the video below that we can help you. Okay, so that's it, guys. See you. Hey guys, how are you? So let's keep going with our blueprints. All right, let's go. In the last class, we made the blueprint of the entrance door that it rotates, right? Um, and now we're gonna make a blueprint for the sliding door. So it's very similar to do it. Uh, okay, so this door here. Okay, so let's do it. I'm gonna move it like this. I'm gonna adjust here. Nice. So it's gonna open, okay, like this. All right. Cool. This door here we're gonna consider fixed, okay, and this one is gonna slide, okay, like this, and this one it's gonna go here, okay, but we're gonna do one at a time. All right, so I'm gonna do it here as the door is already in the scene. I'm gonna convert to blueprint to make it easier, okay, so go here, convert selection, harvest components. I can even rename this here, BP underline sliding door. Okay, it has opened here already with our door. In the content, it saves here in the folder. And yeah, perfect. So what are we going to do first? Same thing as we did in the last class. Let's create our box, and let's adjust here the size. Okay, let me do it here. Okay, after if it's necessary we can adjust more. Okay, nice. All right, we have our box collision and we have the mesh of the door. Let's rename this here as SL door. Okay, and nice, we have our mesh and our box. I'm gonna change it here so they're not be like depending on each other. Okay, now let's do our programming. I can delete this. And now I'm gonna add the begin overlap and the end overlap, right? Right, I'm gonna connect this here with the first person cast 2. All right, BP first person character. All right, I'm gonna duplicate this because we're gonna use the same here. All right, just to make sure it's the first person that we are activating here. And now I'm gonna add my timeline. Yeah, open SL door. I can change the name here. All right, I'm gonna create my float as I did the other time. Shift, and I click on the line. All right, pin here. The size is gonna be 2 as well. Create another pin there. All right, I'm doing this fast because that's the same what we did in the last class. And I'm gonna use here the other thing that we used, like the value from 0 to 1. That's gonna be visible on the editor. Let's see. Look, we have to rename this here. Okay. Right button, you can rename this. I'm gonna put let's see, distance. Yeah, perfect. Here I can connect as well in reverse because it's gonna open and after it's gonna close. All right, so here it is the same reasoning. The character comes here and the event is gonna happen and it's gonna do the sliding, okay, when the character goes here. So look at this. So, or like this, instead of rotating, it's gonna slide now, okay? So we need to use another knot that is very similar, just with one detail that is different. Now, instead of using the rotation, I'm gonna use the location. And an interesting detail that I didn't do in the last class on purpose, so that we could learn how it works here, okay? So if you see that I typed here and my content sensitive is already turned on, look, it is already suggesting the components here that I want to use, right? So it already understood what I want to do. I just have one component here. The other one is the box collision. So it is suggesting if I had a lot of components, it would show all of them. Okay. All right. So let's put it here. This one. All right. Now I have this. And I already have the variable here. Okay. It would be the same process of me taking the variable here and put this location here, this one, the same thing, okay? But for here, it already understood and it did it for me, okay? Here, same thing as the other one. We're gonna move only one axis, okay? Let's see. We're gonna move the y-axis, okay? That is the green one. Here, add is a location. It always give you the 3 coordinates. Do the same thing that as we did in the last class. Look, it opens here, the coordinate separated, okay? I'm gonna move in the y, okay? I'm gonna connect here. No, I will have to do the other thing that we did. Look, I'm gonna create a variable. I'm gonna call it distance. I'm gonna change here to float and I'm gonna leave it opened. Perfect. And I'm gonna click and drag here and I have my variable here. I can compile this so it's gonna appear here and I'm gonna put a distance of 100 after we can control during the scene. Click and drag here, multiply and put it here, and from here I put it here in the y. Okay, compile and save. There is no error, so let's test this. I have the music here, but I'm gonna turn it off. otherwise it's gonna bother us. Oh, it's here. All right, let me put in 0 here. Okay, and let's keep going. Yeah. Look at this. It has opened. It has opened just a little bit. So now we're gonna control this, okay? Directly in the editor. I don't need to create the blueprint anymore. So let's see. The Y here. For 66, I'm gonna move until 786. So it's gonna be 320. So I'm gonna move 320, right? Look, my distance here, I'm gonna change it here, 320. Nice. Nice, right? Really nice. Yeah. So here it's done. Our sliding door. Where else I have these sliding doors? Oh, there's a detail. If you think it's too fast, it's opening too fast, we can change it. I have to go here, blueprint, and I have to change the time here. Let's put 4 seconds. And here, 4 seconds. And I press play. Okay. Look. Now it's kind of slow. I think 3 is gonna be better. Let's see. Play it. Now it's cool. Yeah. It kind of speeds up because of that curve. But yeah, nice. Very good. So now we have this sliding door and this other one here. This one, there's a detail of the curtain here. We're gonna talk about it after. And there's another sliding door here. So I'm gonna show you guys how we can use the same blueprint for different meshes. It's very simple. Here I have a blueprint, but I have the mesh. That door is bigger than the other one. So I'm gonna use the same programming for this mesh here, right? So let's do it. I'm gonna save it here and close it. Well, I need to create a copy of this blueprint, all right? Otherwise it's gonna change of both. So I'm gonna duplicate this, all right? I can leave the same name, like a sliding door. Okay, now I'm gonna take this mesh here. It's here. I'm gonna see my content, and then I'm gonna open it here, and I'm gonna change my mesh. Well, I just have to select my door here, and I change the mesh here. Let's see. Oh, let's get back. Select here. It's here, yeah. I just take it here. Nice. It has changed the mesh. Now, obviously, I'm gonna do the changes, the basic changes. Just have to adjust here. And my event graph didn't change anything. It's the same thing. Everything is the same, okay? Only the distance that we're gonna have to adjust. But yeah, as we did the variable visible for the editor, I don't need to change the blueprint anymore, okay? So now I need to delete this mesh here and I add the new blueprint, okay? Look at this. Then we can see that the material, when we add the mesh, it is with the wrong materials. There is no problem. We're gonna fix this, okay? So how can I do it? Well, I can go here Um, before that, before deleting, let me get back, uh, because I'm gonna take the material of the older mesh. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna take these materials. So let's see. So I'm gonna take the material here. Let's see. No, no, that's right. Yeah. Hold on. Okay, the element one. Okay, put it here. And the glass, I'm gonna search this and I put it here in the, yeah, compile and save it, and perfect. Now I can delete this mesh. I can position this again like this. Let's see the view top here. Let me put it here. Right? And I play it. Let's see. Look at this. But it is opening from to the wrong side. So it have to open the other way. I want to open like this. Okay. So let's put here minus 150. Almost good. Yeah, a little more. Minus 160. And I'm gonna increase the time here. Look. I'm gonna put 2 seconds. Okay, compile, save it, and play it. Look. Yeah, nice. And it closed. Opened. Closed. Right? Nice. Very nice. Let's get back here now. Nice, guys. So now, what else? Now we're gonna show you. We have this door here, and it's gonna be closed here. Dennis showed you in the last classes how to do this this curtain, like the animation, you know. And then when we press play, it moves the curtain, you know. But before, the door was open, and that makes sense. But now it doesn't make sense because the door is closed. So I'll have to find a way that when the door opens, it's the curtain is gonna move. All right. First thing that we have to do is to turn off the play of the curtain. Okay. When you press play here, it's configured. When I press play, the curtain moves, so we have to turn it off. Okay. So to do that, I need to go to details and I click here, right? Running. So it's not gonna run. Okay. We have these 2 parameters running. When I press play, it runs. Okay. And the looping, if I activate this, it's gonna run 1 time and it stops, and again and again and again. Okay. So that's look, and it starts again, you know. So yeah, we have to turn them off, both of them. Nice. I showed how to do it. Okay, but this blueprint, we're gonna make a blueprint of this door. Okay, and then to be able to do to press play in the curtain with the blueprint, I need this curtain to be part of my, to be a component of my blueprint, okay? Of the sliding door, okay? It's not the sliding door one, okay? So what are we going to do? We're gonna create a new blueprint, okay? And we're gonna put the curtain inside this blueprint, okay? So it's gonna have the two meshes. Nice. So let me verify something here. I think that's the same mesh. Sliding door. Mesh. Okay, let's see. Box 093. Let's see. The same. Okay, so I can just duplicate this blueprint and that's gonna be easier. Okay, let's duplicate this and I'm gonna put a sliding door curtain. Okay, perfect. Nice. Now I can delete this. No, I'm gonna leave it here and I'm gonna add in the scene. I'm gonna put the same position here that the other one was. Where is it? It is opened, right? Oh, it's here. It's here. Okay, so okay, it is positioned here, and if I press play, it's gonna open, as you can see. But it's on the wrong side. It's opening to the wrong side. So let's correct this. This one, let's see. I can delete this door. Let's put minus 320. Okay, and close it. Okay, that's great. So now I'm gonna add this curtain into our component there. Let me open it here. Viewport. Okay, nice. This curtain here, if you see, it's not a static mesh, it's a geometry. Okay, so I cannot go here and try to add a static mesh. It has to be the same material. Geometry cache. Okay, I'm gonna put curtain here. Nice. Let's find our curtain here. I'm gonna put it here. Nice. I'm gonna position this. I think it was added. The scale was increased a little bit. So let's adjust here. So it's gonna be the same size. Nice. Okay. Now I can delete this. I'm gonna take the same material here so that I can put in my curtain because there is no material. Compile, save. Nice. So here I can delete the curtain that is behind. Nice. Now this blueprint is the door and also the curtain. Okay, let's access here as we already duplicated the other blueprint. So well, now I need to open the door. It is already solved. Okay, as the character touches, let me see, the box, it's gonna open the door, right? And it's gonna execute this timeline, and it's gonna change the location of the mesh. That is the door. Now when it opens, the character touches the box, it opens the door and also play the curtain. Okay, nice. So basically, that is the concept of flow. Comes from here, goes here, here, here. All right, nice. So the logic here is, for example, it's moving the curtain here. Okay, from here I go to press play, right? More or less, because the timeline has a feature of being like having a time. Things in the float of Blueprint, they happen in orderly but instantaneous way. Okay, so it happens instantly. All right. So yeah, that's it. So a feature of the timeline is that you have a time. Okay, you have an order. So things can happen, you know. You have some animations that are gonna open, you can control that. All right, so here we have the update, the not, and the finished. Okay, it's gonna play, and here it's gonna update this float. All right, each information that I have here. So in the background, what Unreal is doing? Well, each frame here, it updates. Let me open it here. It updates the value of each frame. Look, you see the value is going to increase. You see the curve. So, wow, it's updating this knot for each frame per second based on this curve here of the time, you know, the values and everything. It's putting a lot of events for this knot here to update. Okay, so if you go here in the sequence, it's gonna get confused, okay, because it's gonna pull a lot of events, a lot of things here. It's gonna be put here updated. Nice. So I could put things here, but it can, you know, get some problems. So it's better if we don't do it. It's gonna get confused, so we're not gonna do it. Another solution would be the finished. This timeline, when it gets here in 3 seconds, it's gonna put an event of something. Okay, so for example, let's suppose if you want like when it finishes opening the door, we see the animation if that was the goal. So we could go here. All right, finished, and then things are gonna happen, some event. But that's not our case, because when the door opens, the curtain is gonna be moving because the wind is gonna come in. Okay, so it's not cool to go here, and it doesn't help. So we're gonna have to create a bifurcation. Okay, so in the flow, so things are gonna happen at the same time. Okay, so let's do it. There is a knot. Actually, there are a lot of knots of flow, but one of them is the sequence. As the name says, it makes a sequence. It's gonna do this event, and if I want more than one, look at this. I can put the amount of events that I want. So it's going to do this event and also this event at the same time, you know. So basically, if I don't have the timeline and I put a play here, it would work. Yeah, it would be the same thing, for example, if I put a play here or here, because basically everything is working at the same time. So whatever, you know, it doesn't matter. But in our case here, we need to do for here because we have a timeline that is shooting a lot of events here. Okay, so all right, let's do it. I'm gonna remove here the ones that I'm not using. Okay. I'm gonna turn it off, this reverse. Okay, because when I have to do it in another way. Okay, so when I press play, the character, when he touches the box, it's gonna execute these, okay, at the same time. All right, okay, so all right, let's take the curtain here or that, and I put it here, and now I can type play here. Okay, and here we have the knots. Let's see, from start, reverse it. Well, when I press play, the animation is in the frame 0. Okay, let's suppose there are 100 frames. I press play, it's going 1, 2, 3, 4, and for some reason I stop in the frame 50. So for Unreal, the animation went from 0 to 50. If I press play again a second time, Unreal is gonna take the 50 and it's gonna keep going, okay, from the 50, and it's gonna keep going, okay. But there's a detail here. It goes from the 0 to 100, okay. When it gets to 100, it's gonna stop. If I press play again, Unreal isn't gonna play because it is in the frame 100, so it doesn't get back, you know. So before pressing play, I would have to get back to 0, the frame 0, to press play again. So sometimes it's kind of hard, so be careful. Sometimes it looks like you're using the not play and it's not going because of this, you know. You have to get back from the 0, from the frame, then you can get started again. But if you use the play from start, it's gonna go from start, okay. So if you went from the 0 to 50 and press play again, it's gonna go from the 0 again, okay. That is the one that we want, okay. We want to see the entire animation, and next time we press play, we want to go again, okay. Nice. The reverse, it's like it's gonna go from the, for example, frame 100 until the frame 0, okay. And the other one, same thing, okay. This one is gonna play from the frame that it was stopped, and this one is from the end to the start, okay. Nice. So the sequence here, okay, it's perfect. Let's test this to see how it's gonna be. Press play. Let's test this. Let's get closer. Look. Nice. Let's do it again. So you're gonna see that I'm gonna press play and the curtain isn't gonna running automatically. So let's see. Look. Right? Nice. And then it's gonna do the movements until the end. All right. Look. Let's suppose that I go here and then we turn off the command of reverse, right? So it's quite there. Okay, so now we can see. You see, when I get closer to the box, when I touch the box, it happens. But the door didn't do anything because it is already in the final of the animation. Okay, nice. Let's get back here. This reasoning is the same reasoning of the timeline. If I had put here, it's the same reasoning, okay? All right, but if you notice, after I touch the box, the curtain already moves. Look at this. the door even didn't even open and the curtain is already moving. So we could change it a little bit. Let's add this. I mean, after the door opens, then the curtain can move. So let's put a delay here. Let's see. We already saw this delay knot. Let's see. Let's add this delay. Okay. So before I press play, we can put here 0.7. Yeah, I think that's enough. Let's test there. Okay, let's get closer. Look, the door opens. All right. You see? It's an animation. Even after the door closed, the curtain is still moving a little bit. As it's not done on Unreal, it's not the wind like that is, moving this curtain, this mesh. So Unreal doesn't know when the door is opened or closed. So let's do something. When the door closes, I'm gonna put the stop. I'm gonna put here. Let me see the variable curtain. I'm gonna put stop. Okay, we have this option here. Okay, so the reasoning is when I stop touching the box, it's gonna stop the animation and it's gonna put the door to the right position. Okay. Look, the curtain, that doesn't make sense. So we cannot control this for Unreal because it's an external animation. It's like a video that is running. You see? Look. So we cannot control this inside Unreal. This effect, this animation would have to be done inside Unreal so that we could have control, Well, so we're gonna create an effect here to make this beautiful in our scene, and I suggest, for example, to make the curtain, the door, closing automatically, okay? Without needing the character to touch the box, okay? Then we're gonna have more control. We're gonna press play in the animation, and when it finishes the animation, the door is gonna be closed, okay? So it's gonna be like the door closed and the wind stopped. So let's do it. I'm gonna show it to you so that you can understand better. So I can delete this here, and I'm not gonna have the end overlap anymore. I'm just gonna have the effect of the begin. So the reasoning here is we're gonna make this. I'm gonna create one more flow from a time. It's going to close the door for me. Okay, it's gonna be the time of the animation. So I'm gonna create one more here and one more delay. Okay, for my tasks, I already know that it's like 10 seconds. All right, so I'm gonna leave here 10 seconds, and actually I can even change it here. All right, 10 seconds, and here whatever, 3, they're gonna work at the same time. And then I'm gonna make my door gets back. All right, the reverse. So let's test this. I'm gonna press play, and then look, it has opened the door. All right, if I get out of the box, nothing's gonna happen. And look, nice, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Now I'm gonna do one more test so that you guys can see a detail. that I touch it and the curtain moves, the animation, you could notice that it had a little, it skips the animation a little bit. You see that the curtain is stopped in a position, and then when I touch, it kind of skipped a part of the animation because it's getting to the frame 0. So there is nothing we can do about it. So it's getting back to the frame 0, okay, to keep going. And yeah, there's nothing we can do about it. Unless when you're doing that in the 3D, if you do exactly the animation, the last frame is equal to the first frame, the position of the mesh, then you're not gonna have this problem. But this animation, it's very hard to do that. It's a fabric animation, so yeah. But it's okay, you know. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with this. Let's take a look at this. All right, after 10 seconds, it's gonna close. All right, look at this. Nice. Cool, guys. I think that's it that I wanted to show you. All right. So we saw in this class how to do the sliding door. Okay. That is basically like the entrance door, but we changed some details here. Okay. Here I already showed how to adapt that same blueprint by just changing the mesh and then some changes that is necessary. Very simple. And here we showed how to make an animation runs together with the sliding door, okay, at the same time, you know. And we changed the mode of, you know, closing the door. Now it's for time. So that's it, guys. I'll see you in the next class. See you. Hi guys, how are you? Are you okay? So in this class, the goal is to talk about interaction menu, okay? It's known here as widget on Unreal, okay? So these menus, basically they are gonna control some things in the scene. It can be anything, you know, that you can control. If you need a button or something like that, okay? It can be a menu, like of the beginning of the game, like an interaction that we're gonna do inside the scene, or an information, okay, that is written on the screen, okay? Nice. So before we keep going with the blueprints, we're gonna do the menus, because the next blueprints, they're gonna be change of materials, turn on and turn off the lights, turn on the TV, you know. So they're gonna be controlled by the buttons of menu. So it's better if we create the menu first, and after, for each button that we have, we can create a blueprint, okay? An interaction of somehow, you know. All right. So how can we do this? Well, first thing, it's personal, you know. I do it first in a software of design, you know. It can be a Photoshop or other, you know, software of design, because this way I can develop there the idea, the design of this menu, you know, the size and everything, you know. And first in the software, and after I take this base, this reference, and I copy here on Unreal, okay? So it's gonna be easier to not, you know, waste time adjusting and doing things like that. Because here on Unreal, it's kind of more complicated to try to elaborate something different. So it's better if we do it in a software of design, separated, okay? And even because we're gonna have a reference, and after we're gonna have the icons, the buttons and everything, they're gonna be made from JPEG or PNG. So I already prepared here our menu. Okay, that's gonna have this interface here. 1920 for 1080. Okay, because we're gonna use like in a monitor, like full HD. Okay, so the idea here is we have this tab to edit, because we're gonna say when you press tab, it's gonna edit the scene. Okay, so it's gonna be turned on. It would be turned on, and when I press tab, it opens these others here. Okay, this bar. So this part isn't gonna appear, and here it's gonna be just an information of when I press tab, it's gonna close everything, and here are gonna be buttons. Okay, so when I press here, it's gonna open the other menus, living room. Here I can, for example, we're gonna have floor, a change of a wall, of something. I put wall here just because to leave it here, but after we're gonna edit this. Okay, it depends on each environment. Okay, we can make some changes, and here I have some buttons like turn on the light or turn off, turn on the light, turn off. Okay, so yeah, it's like a reference. And after we can create the blueprints, and we can put the buttons in the correct places. Okay, and we can edit these textures. So basically this is a reference. Okay, right. So I'm gonna get back to Unreal, and here I'm gonna import this inside my scene. Okay, so I'm gonna create here a folder. I like to create a new folder. Okay, to put the menus. All right, so it's gonna be separated, although it's a blueprint, but I like to separate. So I'm gonna put here the widget, and I'm gonna import here those images of reference that I have. Okay, so I'm gonna import here, and I'm gonna create a folder here of images. Okay, so here to import, the same way we can put something here, right button, import. You go to the folder that you want, and I'm gonna import the template. That is the file that is our reference. Okay, it would be this file here. Perfect. So we imported our reference, and now we're gonna start creating our widget. Okay, what is a widget? Well, it is a blueprint as well. However, it has some characteristics of interface. Okay, to have an interface of the user. So as it is an interface of the user, right button, using user interface, widget blueprint. Okay, user widget. Okay, and I'm gonna call it here widget underline my menu. Okay, nice. We just created a widget from the beginning. Let's open it here. Okay, nice. Here's our interface of a widget. It's a little bit different from the interface of a blueprint. Okay, I'm gonna show you the differences, and then we're gonna go and do like creating. Okay, so here we have this bars. Okay, the compile, save, browse, play. Here we have this options here that we can put in our menu. So here it would be our screen of menu. If we see here, we can see the resolutions here. Look, this options 1920, So we're gonna define here which one is gonna be the resolution. Okay, if you're gonna work, for example, just in case with a vertical screen, you can use this one, okay, or this one, or this one. So you can use these resolutions, or you can come here and use some of this for phones, tablets, laptops. Okay, I like to use this like it is a game. 1920 for 1080. Okay, the full HD. Okay, for people who already worked with a widget on Unreal 4, it's a little bit different. Okay, when you create a widget here in this version, they changed a little bit, but we're gonna learn how to do it. Okay, nice. So the elements here that we can add, a border. So yeah, we have button, checkbox, and everything. We're gonna talk about them a little bit after we're gonna talk. Okay, we're gonna take a look at that. Here we have a hierarchy. Okay, like in Photoshop, you know, you have the window of layers. You know, basically it's like that. And here the details of each element. Okay, for example, look at this. I added a button, and you see this button 26. It is in our hierarchy here, and here we have the details. Okay, so that we can, you know, make some adjustments. So this is the huge difference, okay, between the window of Blueprint and the window of widget. And then we can change it here. We have designer to, you know, to design, and the graph. Then we go to our screen of like that we are used, like the screen of Blueprint, you know, like the event graph, like the same as a Blueprint. The difference is that we don't have the components here, because here we're making a blueprint in 2D, let's say, you know. So, you know, there's not the element 3D, okay, the 3D element, but the rest we have. Okay, so every time we create an element here, like an object, and the variable comes here, you see, button 26. So yeah, so that's it. The interface of the blueprint is this. I'm going to delete this button, and now we're going to get started, like creating, you know, our menu, and I'm going to talk more about these details. So first thing, we have to create a panel. Okay, we call this on Unreal in Canva. Okay, that is what is going to represent the screen. Okay, so we go here, we have some types of panel, and the traditional one is the canvas. Okay, canvas panel. So look at this. This one is our screen. Anything that is outside of this rectangle isn't gonna appear on our screen. Okay. All right. I created here the panel. This is the difference. The Unreal 4 until the Unreal Early Access 5. We had this here. I don't know why they took it off, but yeah, that's it. So now it's easier to see the resolutions. Look, it goes with the resolution that we want. Look at this. I'm gonna work with this 1920 for 1080. So let's get started by designing. Okay, compile and save it. Okay, and I'm going to put that template, all right, so that we can design on this. I'm gonna put an image here, and then I come here, details. Let's see, I'm gonna put here the measurement, like 1920 for 1080. Okay, we have some things here that, for example, every time you get out of the object, unless it's canvas, it appears this. We call it anchor, okay? Because the measurements, they come from this, okay? Because it's gonna make reference with the screen. Let's suppose you made a menu like in 1920, but your screen for some reason it's smaller, so it's gonna put the image from here and it's gonna cut this part here, okay? So this is basically where it comes from. It gets started, the design. As our menu stays here in the base, I'm gonna leave this anchor here centralized, okay? So you can go here, anchors, and it shows all the type. Here, I want to put it here. You see? Nice. Okay, cool. Here already positioned 1920 for 1080. Okay, we have these numbers here. So the position of this image in relation to its anchor is minus 960. Okay, as you can see here, and 1080. But don't worry about it. We're gonna get used to it, you know, as we do things here. Okay, now I'm gonna change my image here. I'm gonna put my template. You go here, appearance, brush. You know, I have these options here, but we're gonna use an image here. We're gonna put an image here. Okay, I take my image that I already downloaded, click and drag it here. Okay, look. All right, it is here. It is already positioned. Okay, so that we can design. Here we have a hierarchy, exactly like a layer of Photoshop. We can lock this or hide this. Okay, look at this. So I'm gonna lock this because I don't want to edit this part without wanting. Okay, so I'm gonna lock this and it's gonna be just a reference. And also I'm gonna make it more like transparent so that I can put things here. Okay, you can open the tab here, and here you have colors. Okay, I can put 0.5, that is the channel alpha. Okay, or a little more, just, you know, so that we can design better here. Okay, nice. So first thing that I'm going to do is to create our buttons here. Okay, so here we're gonna create the tab here. This one, it's gonna be an image actually, so I can add an image here. Nice. You see that it already put the hierarchy here. You know, if I put it here, look, it overwrites. Unlike Photoshop, for example, Photoshop goes from the bottom to the top, and here it's the opposite. Okay, so I'm gonna put it here. I'm not gonna position this because look, I'm gonna import here this image of this button. Now I go here, import. I will import everything here so that it's gonna be easier. So I named this UI. Okay, so this image here, I'm gonna put it here. Okay, on my button. Nice. But you see that it's kind of distorted, so I have to put the image in the right size. Well, as I already did the image, I did in the right scale. So these elements here, they are in the right dimension. Okay, look, here on Unreal, all these measurements are in pixels. Okay, they are not centimeters. Okay, when we talk about widget, we talk about pixels. Okay, so everything you see here, you can consider as pixels. So okay, the original size here, so I can type this numbers here, or I can enable this, right? Because that's gonna take the size of the image, and that's gonna be the same as the content of the image. Okay, so I'm gonna put my anchor here, okay, and I'm gonna position it here. Look, let's put minus 960, and here like minus 60. We have two options to do. I'm gonna show one, minus 60, or I can use the alignment. That is another tip that I can give you guys. So this alignment, well, basically it is always from the upper left corner, okay? By default, this alignment is like this. This zero here, it means that the alignment, if you open this, the X, okay, and the Y, all right? That is the height. Okay, so 0 is aligned here on the left. If I put 1, it aligns 100% to the left, to the right. So these values are from 0 to 1. If I want to put in the center, I put like 0.5, okay? And the variations here, you can see. But here, I can put 0. I want to align on the left. And here, the Y works in the same way. You have the 0 and the center. Okay, the center. Okay, you can align this. Nice. Now, I'm gonna put the tab, all right? Tab to hide. Okay, I'm gonna align it here, and I'm gonna put the tab to hide. Okay, so I already have this designed. I selected this, I exported everything separated, because after I'm gonna put there on Unreal. Okay, all right, this one is the same thing. So why do I prefer to do in the software? Well, because the software of design has more resources to align things and do some other things. And also when I export, it already comes with the right dimensions in pixels. So I don't need to worry about it, you know, with the dimensions. So I'm gonna put, look, I'm gonna align here. 1. The position I'm gonna put 0. Okay, it's here, per aligned. And here I have to position, okay? I'm gonna put it more or less like this. Nice. So I already have the two images here, okay? I'm gonna rename this because it's important, okay? It's gonna be more interesting for us, so we're not gonna get lost. Tab added, and here tab hide. Okay, nice. Now I'm gonna put this button here. As it is a button, I cannot put an image. Okay, so I'm gonna take this button here because there are some things pre-configured, so it's easier to work. So I'm gonna show you how it works. Okay, same thing here. We have the dimensions here and the appearance. Style, we have more options here. Okay, so we have 3 options here. Normal, this one, and this one. The normal is the appearance of the button, okay, with no interactions, like normal. The hovered is when you put the mouse on this, if you want some interaction, for example, of color, you can put a different information here. And the one pressed is the image when you press this, okay, the button. And here, disable, but in our case, it's not important, okay? I'm gonna show the others, okay? I'm gonna put an image here as well. Let's see, this one, okay. Same reasoning, okay. So it's here. I'm gonna put it here. Same thing. Okay, aligned here. And the position here, I'm gonna put in the 0 in the Y, and I'm gonna put in 1 here. And here, I'm gonna position, okay, where I want. Nice. You guys can see that I have the image and I have an edge here. So Unreal comes with a function of button pre-configured. In case you don't have an image and you just want to put a button, you have some options here, like this one. It simulates like a button, okay? There's the box. It's like a square button, border, and image. So it's important that I put image, the most important, because we're gonna put just an image because I don't want an effect, okay? And you can notice that the image is kind of gray, and this one is white. So, well, it happened because we have the option like to color the image. So if I put, for example, white, you see this? Nice. So here we have the button. Let me close it here so that we're not gonna get confused. All right, nice. Now I can create the effects of the button as well. Okay, here I have the button like normal, and hovered and pressed. I can put different images here. I can go here in my software of editing and I can paint this, put different colors, the effects, okay, and apply it. Or I can put this effect here. That is more easy, you know, that's easier. So I can put this image here and here, or I can go here and copy, all right, and paste. Okay, it if you put the button here, it copies, all right. And here, same thing, paste. All right. So here I'm gonna put green when the mouse is on the button, or yellow, more or less like this, okay? So when I put the mouse on the button, it's gonna be this color, okay? A little kind of yellow. And when I press, I'm gonna put it more like orange, like this. Okay, let's see. All right, we have these options here. When I press, it's gonna get this color. Okay, nice. So yeah, we have the button here. After I can show you, to show it while it's working, I have to put in the scene. So I'm gonna leave it here, and when we test this, I can show you. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to do the same thing to the other 4 buttons, other 3 buttons. Okay. So okay, let me name this here. I'm gonna put this name, and then I can put a new button, do everything again, or I can duplicate this. Okay, and I think it's easier. I'm gonna rename this here. Okay, I'm going to position this again here. And now I'm gonna change the image. Okay, I'm gonna take the image here, this image, I'm gonna put it here, and then instead of copying, I'm gonna put the images because the colors are done already here. Okay, so look at this, I have the other button ready, done. So now I'm gonna do the other two. Okay, I'm gonna speed up the video to do it. Okay guys, I already put the buttons, all right. Already configured them, renamed them. All right, nice. So now I'm gonna make these menus here. Okay, that is basically the same thing that we did. Okay, but there's a little detail that I'm gonna explain you. Okay, when I press this button, it's gonna appear this menu, right? Nice. And inside this menu, I have like an image in the background. I have these texts here. I have these other details here. So if I make them separated, like I create one image after another image for the other button. So if I do all of this separated, when I do it, the animations, for example, when I press the button, it appears. You're gonna see that if you do it separated, we're gonna have a lot of work. Okay, when I press the button, I'm gonna show all of this. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm gonna group everything. So when I press the button, it's gonna call the entire group. So it's gonna be easier. And to group this, um, it's not like in the software 3D. Okay, I have to create a panel, a new panel, and then I put the things inside this panel. Because we are seeing here, this canvas is our main. Okay, it's created here. And now we're going to create a sub panel for this for each menu of this, so it's gonna be easier to work. So I'm gonna create here a new panel. I put it here. Okay, look, it's inside the other panel, and I'm gonna align it here. All right, also the anchor here, and I'm gonna position this here. Okay, so I'm gonna put an image here to be the background. If I put it here, you're gonna see that it's a subcategory, okay, of the canvas that we just created. And you also can see that this anchor now, it's related to the sub canvas. It's not related to the main canvas, okay, because the main canvas is already related, okay, and things that are inside here is related to the sub canvas. Okay, so I don't need to change anything here, this anchor, so it's gonna be like this. All right, and then I'm gonna put the image here, okay, and I'm gonna turn on the size to content. As here I already have the size, I can put 0 here, okay, because it's gonna be the size that it has to be. Okay, let me adjust here. Oh, I'm adjusting the wrong thing. Okay, I'm gonna adjust the canvas, and I'm gonna put 0. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. That's right. Okay. So we already have our background here. Nice. After we can change this text, okay? And that's it. Nice. So now I need to turn it off. I need to hide this. I will have 3 buttons here. The idea here is to put the texture of the material, like a sphere of the material, okay? So I'm gonna put the materials here, and I'm gonna put here as well this other element, and here are gonna be icons. So I'm gonna import here the little balls that I didn't import yet. I'm gonna import all of them, and after I can select what we need. So okay, here I have the little balls because I have 3 of each, because I already did, for example, in the Photoshop, I did the 3 little balls, the normal, covered, and press it, okay? Nice, so let's go. I'm gonna put a new button, verify if it's inside here of the hierarchy, okay? I'm gonna put the ball here, okay? Actually, I'm gonna take any of these balls here just to show you guys, and then after we can adjust more, okay? Okay, so here we have the 3 little balls, normal, and this one when you put the mouse, and then when I press the last one. All right, size to content, and here I'm gonna need to adjust this. See, as I turn on the size to content, I cannot change the size because it's logged, okay, in the content, this measurement here. So to change it, I have to change it here, for example. But if I do it this way, I will have to change 3 times, okay? So I'm gonna get it back here. I'm gonna turn off the size to content, and I'm going to use the measurements here, okay? Okay, as it is a square, I'm gonna position it here, okay. Let me see, 42, 42, 45. Actually, I can go here and take a look at this. 44 to be more, let's see. Nice. Okay, you see, that's why I like to do things there, because you see how hard it is. Let me turn off the grid. It's hard to position things here on Unreal, so it's easier to design there. Here, I'm gonna turn off this. Okay. All right. Nice. So I already have my first button here. Now I'm going to accelerate the video, speed up the video, and I'm gonna do the same thing for all of these little balls. Okay, let's go. Alright guys, so as you saw, I added all the buttons here. Okay, it's here. I'm gonna name here. Alright, yeah. For now, I'm gonna leave the same image. After that we define the materials that we're gonna change, then we can put the correct little balls, okay? Nice. So now I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to do for all the menus here, okay? Because I have to copy and paste and do it, okay? I'm gonna duplicate this, I'm gonna position this, and then I'm gonna get back with everything done, okay? And then we can talk about how I can put a blueprint here. Alright guys, so I did all the work here, okay? I duplicated all the menus, okay? And also I renamed here the names of the buttons, okay? So you're gonna see it's different, okay? Because in the event graph it's gonna be these different names and it's gonna be easier, okay? You will not need to come here all the time to find the names, you know. So basically I duplicated and I positioned, and like here I changed the icons, okay, the images, and I renamed, okay. Another thing that I did, well, I took it off what it was written here, okay, so that we can put the text on Unreal. That way we don't have to change the software of editing, and then I can show you how to do it because I didn't show you the texture too. Okay, so let's put a text here, okay, and after we can do the others, okay. It's very simple actually. So I'm going to turn off here so that we can have the letter in the template, and I'm gonna put here the text, okay. Two ways to do it. Just click and drag it, okay, or you can put it here, because this way you guarantee where you want to put, you know. Okay, so look at this, and then it's a box text, a normal, okay, you can put it here. You have the details here, same things, okay. Color, and here you have the font, okay. So Unreal, you have the font here, okay, and you can import any font here, okay, that is compatible here. So I already imported. I was using the Arial font, and I imported it here. When you do it, the same way it creates the, it's gonna show up here the file and also convert it to Unreal, okay. But Unreal does this automatically. After that, after importing, you can go here and find the font that you put here, okay. I'm gonna use the Arial font. Here you can type what you want. I'm gonna type, you can change the color, and here you can control the size. Also here, if you want in the center, or you know, you have other options. So yeah, that's it. So let me adjust this. Okay, let's put 15, 14. Nice. So here I already have the text. Let me get back here. Okay, nice. After we can copy here, and then we can organize this. Nice. Okay, that's it. So let's see here. Here I'm gonna hide the template because I don't need this for now. And here compile and save it. Nice. Here I already selected 3 little balls here that are the balls that we're gonna put on the floors. And nice. Okay. We created our widget, our menu, but we have to put in the scene, which we only created the menu. You know, we didn't link to the scene yet. So if I press play, nothing's gonna happen. Okay, so let's do this. Let's call the menu so it's gonna appear in the scene, okay? All right, let's do this. The widget, it's a file of it's interface of the user. So it's not like an asset that you just click and drag to the scene, because it's not an asset, a 3D asset. It is a 2D asset, okay? So it needs to be put in the screen. To put an image in front of your screen, okay? The 3D scene is gonna be behind this image, okay? If it is an image JPEG, it's gonna cover if it's the full screen, you know, or if it's transparent. I forgot to tell you, but all these images are exported in PNG, okay? So when you put on Unreal, it becomes transparent. So everything was exported as PNG. Okay, to call the menu, we need to create this. We need to build this. We create this widget to appear on the scene. So let's do it. This blueprint, okay? To do this, we have a lot of ways to do it. You can create in a level editor. You can create in a first person, any blueprint of the scene. But I prefer to create a specific blueprint for the menu, because if I want to turn off or delete of the scene, I can do it, you know. So I'm gonna create here a blueprint of the type actor. I'm gonna call it BP my menu. All right, cool. Let's open it. It's gonna be only this to call the widget. Okay. All right. So let's talk now about event begin play. That is very important, and we didn't talk about it yet. Delete this. Okay, the event begin play, we didn't use it yet. So it shoots an event when I press play. So let's go here. So the reasoning, basically, it always appear here, okay, on the screen. To show, you have to press tab, okay? And after you do that, when you press tab, everything's gonna happen, okay? The rest is gonna happen. Okay, so when I press play, this menu is gonna be here. So it's gonna create after I press play in the scene, and it's gonna create this widget, and it's gonna show my screen. There is a knot that is specific for this. I'm gonna do it. It's transparent like this because as it is very used, it is suggested for us, okay? Look, when we create this here, it's gonna be normal as the others. The knot is this, create widget. Okay, nice. You see now it's with the normal color. Okay, now I'm gonna construct a blueprint on the screen. So here, you click here, you can find the blueprints. We have ours here. Okay, nice. I just created in the programming language Unreal constructed, but it's not gonna appear yet. It is constructed in the background. So now I need to add to my viewport, my screen. Look, I can do it here, add to viewport. Okay, so here, as you can see, it is in our viewport. I compile and save it. and then I'm gonna put this in the scene. Okay, look. All right, I can put anywhere here in the scene. I like to do this way because if I want to delete, I just delete this here, and if I want this again, I put in the scene and that's it. Okay, so our menu is here on our screen, right? You see, it's green, the colors, the hovered, and the pressed. Look, it changes the color. Look at this. Interesting, right? So it is working here. Here, you can notice that I clicked out of the menu, so it already activated my game mode. And now I cannot go back, all right? So I would have to play it again. And that's gonna be the function of the keyboard tab. When you press tab, it's gonna change the game mode to the use interface, okay? So that I will be able to change the interface, like the navigation, to the edition, okay? So I need to have a keyboard to do that. Nice. So let's create this, okay? So here, look. Let's do it here. Let me put it here. I'm gonna create a short key to do it. For example, here I can keyboard events. So there is an event for each key of the keyboard. Okay. So here I can choose the key that I want. Okay. Or I can type it. Okay, keyboard. I'm gonna use the key tab. So I select this here, and it has created an event here. Okay. So this pressed here is when I press, and this one, if I put a released here, it's like if I want that an event is gonna work only if I'm pressing the mouse, But if you don't have that, it's okay. Just use the pressed, okay? All right, so now I'm gonna change the game mode. To do that, I need to go here, get play, this one, okay? And I'm gonna put it here, set input. Actually, set input. This, let's see. I'm gonna use this one, UI only, okay? Okay, so here I just changed the user interface, okay? And then I can link this here, and then I have this UI mode, okay? When I press the first time. When I press this again, it's gonna go to the game mode, okay? So I also need to create, I need to change between one event and another. The NOT flow that does this is the flip-flop. It's gonna toggle between the events. So I have the event A and the event B. If I press the first time, it goes to A, the second time to B. Okay, I can use the same get here, game only, okay? Right, so here, when I toggle this, it's gonna go from the game mode to the edition mode. Let's play to test this. Look, I'm writing the game mode. I'm gonna press tab, but nothing is happening. And it's not happening because there is a feature of Unreal that you need to enable for the user to use the keys of the keyboard. Okay, so you can use the same get player. You need to add this in the programming. Okay, gets player and enable input. All right. And here, when I put here, return value, target, you have to put in the player controller. Be careful. Here, it's in the game mode. I'm gonna press tab. Look, it's kind of messed up here. We're getting kind of confused here because we need to enable, we need to tell Unreal to enable the mouse. So let's do this. I'm gonna put it here, set show mouse cursor, okay? Here, if you leave it like this, it's enabled. If you leave like this, it's disabled, okay? So you have to do it for the two events, the two flows. All right. Let's press play to test this. Look, it's not getting back. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, it's not this one. I need to activate this set input, game and UI. Let's see. Let me see. Player controller. Let's press play again. Okay, it's here. And now it's gonna get back here. You see that it's like a rectangle here as I press tab. It's a feature of Unreal that is called focus. We need to disable this, otherwise it's gonna make us confused. It's like when you're using the browser and you can change on the buttons by using tab. So we need to turn it off. So let's do this. To turn it off, this function, we have to go on our widget and let's change this on the buttons. For example, if you type here, focus. So you just have to turn it off, but you have to do it for all the buttons, okay? So the easier way is to select everything here and turn it off. Just do it, okay? All right. So let's do it. As we use the key tab, it's gonna happen this. So yeah, just turn it off, save it, and let's test this now. All right, let's go. I pressed, see, it's not focusing anymore. And I press tab and it gets back, right? Nice. So here I can navigate. I'm pressing W as A and D. When I press W, it turns off and I can navigate, but without the mouse, you know, because I used the knot. That is this one. All right, mode, game, and UI. So I have the navigation, but I can still use the menu because I'm using the mouse. Okay, so nice. This part here, I'm gonna finish the class here. Okay, this part of creation of the menu. So the structure was created. We just have to make some adjustments. Okay, basically configured. You know, change some things. Write what we have to write. Okay, so it is already working, the scene. Look, it appears and disappears. I can change the mode. All right, the game mode, the edition mode. So in the next class, we're gonna make the animations. Okay, so when I press play, it's gonna appear here, but only this key here, only this tab here. Okay, when I press tab, it's gonna open there, and when I press the button, the menus are gonna appear. So see you.